What's up, guys, and welcome to College Football 25, where we're going to be rebuilding San Diego State with only recruits from California. Now, we're going to be rebuilding them not because they're a struggling program, because as you guys can see, especially throughout the 2010s, they were pretty successful. I mean, they picked up a couple of conference championships in the Mountain West Conference, and actually went 12-2 in 2021. Obviously, we're not going to look at 2023. They ended up going 4-8, and currently this season, at the time of the recording, they are 3-3, where they just barely picked up a win over Wyoming. But I really want to bring this school back to its glory days back in 2015 to 2021, especially before they end up moving to the Pac-12. Let's end up dominating the Mountain West Conference. Let's see if we can pick up a couple titles, and maybe we can actually pick up a national championship as well. That's going to be the main goal here. And of course, just like in our last video, I'm only going to be able to hop into regular season games where we're going to have players visiting. So it's only going to be those plus anything in conference championships or in playoffs or bowl games. So going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited for this, and if there's any coach that's going to be able to do that for San Diego State, that's going to be Sick Nabin, who ended up taking his lead from North Carolina to come out west and see if he can rebuild this school as well. Obviously had some success with North Carolina, so why can't we do it on the other coast as well? Now, as always, we are going to be playing on Heisman with 7-minute quarters just to give it a little bit more of a challenge, because even though I feel like my gameplay is definitely a big barrier to success here, I feel like we have to throw a couple other wrenches in there anyways. And obviously, as we can see, we do have a handful of team needs. We definitely need quarterback, halfback, wide receiver, pretty much everyone on the line on offense. And on defense, pretty much the same thing, so we're going to have to look for as many positions as possible. So I really want to see if there are any 3 or 4 stars that really want to come to our school from California. Really want to focus on those because I feel like they're definitely going to be the key to success here. And as we see, there are a handful of guys, so I think we're going to try to throw them up on our board because, again, especially a lot of these guys, we're going to definitely need their positions. And if we can really fill those needs early on, that would be really great. And it's going to be tough because we only have 575 hours, so being able to recruit a lot of these guys, maybe not necessarily going to be the best thing here. And unfortunately, we have found 2 busts right off the bat who, of course, have us first on their interest list. And if we can get someone like this 3-star halfback with 90 speed, I would be extremely happy, and especially since he's a gem, I feel like he could have a really good development trade. So if that's the case, we're definitely going to be offering him a scholarship right off the bat, especially since we don't have a ton of hours. And the downside is, most of these guys are busts. I don't know what we're going to do. Actually, that's a lie. I know exactly what I'm going to do. Because depending on the position, we might still need them anyways, or at least keep them on the board, especially since we're number 1 on their list. And Eric Vincent here, a left end, would be really great to get as well. Not bad stats right out of the gate, especially for a left end, but we're definitely going to have to offer him a scholarship as a 3-star gem. And fortunately, we find a quarterback that's a 3-star gem as well, Doug Davis, who hopefully could actually fill in, despite the fact that I think that we have a pretty young roster. At least at quarterback, that is. And since we only have 10 hours left, I want to give 2 other guys scholarships because we've only given like 3 away right now. I think Ladarius Pringley would be a really good one. I mean, he's got 93 speed as a physical wide receiver. He's got Road Dog, and he also has Clear-Headed with Recoup. I think he's someone that could really fit in at our school. But as you guys can see, for all the grades over there on the right, I think there are only 2 that are green, so hopefully he wants that campus lifestyle and proximity to home. And then Mike Cook, who's an 87 speed right outside linebacker. I think he can be a really good player too, so let's offer him a scholarship. But since we don't have any more hours, we're just going to have to advance the week and get into week 0. But before we go any further, let's definitely take a look at the team. And like I said, I feel like in the quarterback room, we do have a pretty young squad here. I mean, they're only 74 to 76. Duffy is a sophomore redshirt. You got a true freshman, O'Neal, and you have another sophomore redshirt in Crum. Hopefully we can find someone else to potentially come in, but still, again, we have some guys that we can develop. Now, Kristen is a senior this season, but we do have Sutton in the back who's going to be pretty good. But still, a 98 speed, 97 acceleration halfback is going to be a lot of fun this season. Now, unfortunately, most of our receivers are upperclassmen, but Napier is a freshman redshirt, so we're going to have him for a couple seasons. Now, the offensive line is definitely full of upperclassmen as well. We have seniors at pretty much every position on the line, with the exception, of course, right guard. But Ulagalu Masuli, who I'm probably totally mispronouncing, is going to be here for an extra season. Hopefully, he'll be able to increase a little bit too. Now, defensively, I don't know if I agree with that 81. We'll definitely see as we see the other positions too, but a 74, 73 at the ends, 78 at D tackle, and the linebackers just in like the upper 70s. Same thing with the cornerbacks. And our safeties are about the same as well, so I don't know where that 81 comes from, but hopefully we can improve that over the seasons. Now, thankfully, week 0 is a bye week, which means we're going to have an extra 450 hours to put on some of these guys. And we definitely want to start recruiting the guys that we ended up giving scholarships to. So let's make sure that we end up sending the house on them, and hopefully we can get them to commit pretty early in the season. That way we can actually free up some hours for later on. But we're also going to spend some hours trying to recruit some other guys as well, just to see if there might be some better guys, including this 3-star gem, Larry Mama, with an 81 speed, 92 throw power. He could be pretty good too. Obviously, we have a handful of quarterbacks we're going after, but again, we're definitely going to need a backup. We're not going to get the first one that we go after. And thankfully, we also found Glenn Iverson, who is a 3-star gem as well at wide receiver. He's a deep threat as well. If we can pair that physical wide receiver with this deep threat wide receiver as well, dude, I feel like we're going to be set for a handful of years. Now, I am going to do this video a little different than the last one because I think I'm going to do this by season. So this one's going to be season 1. We'll do another video with season 2, just until we end up winning a national championship. You guys let me know down in the comments, do you prefer that or everything in one video? I know that last one was like 2.5 hours, and I don't know if you guys like to watch ones that long. So you guys let me know down in the comments, and we'll kind of tailor it to that. And even though it is pretty early in the season and recruiting, looks like we can already figure out what Gerald Kidd's motivations are, and it looks like proximity to home, program tradition, and campus lifestyle of them, and that is 2 of the greens there, so I feel like we can really convince him with the hometown hero. Plus, that'll allow us to schedule a visit pretty early on too, and we're definitely going to bring him for Oregon State. Plus, that allows me to get into a game, and I'm actually kind of itching to play one. And even though we can go proximity to home, come on, man, I went to this school. I know how great that campus lifestyle is. We definitely got to sell him on that. So since we have 80 hours and no one else that wants to come on a visit yet, we're definitely going to have to scout a couple other guys, and unfortunately, Tavon Marshall is going to be a bust. But thankfully, LaMichael Galladay is a gem, and unfortunately, we are out of hours right now, so we might not be able to offer him a scholarship. However, despite the fact that I do want Glenn Robinson, I think we're going to take 5 off the social media, offer him a scholarship down here, and just put that 5 back on him next week. But this week we are going to be playing FCS Midwest, and honestly, I really wish I could hop into this game, but thankfully we'll be able to hop into the one next week. Hopefully we can sim through this one and pick up our first win of the season. And thankfully we did pick up the win, but Oregon State did as well, so this might actually be a pretty difficult game. But either way, we definitely got to get into the recruiting first, because we need to start placing some more hours on some of these guys. Although, looking at like Pringley and Kidd, definitely looks like we have a big lead because no one else has offered them a scholarship yet. But for some of these guys like Vincent and Cook, we might be able to bring them in right now because we want to take a big lead over these guys so we can try to get them in as quick as possible. So let's schedule a visit with Glenn Iverson against Washington State, I think. And we're definitely going to try to sell him on that campus lifestyle too. Now, unfortunately, we cannot hard sell him yet because we have a couple different possibilities with the campus personality as well as the hometown hero. So we're going to have to save on that. We're just going to have to continue to send the house. Now, Mike Cook, on the other hand, we took off the send the house, and now we can actually hard sell. We know what all 3 of his motivations are, and that's that campus personality. And thankfully, the campus lifestyle is up there with an A. And that means we're going to schedule him on a visit for that Washington State game as well. Now, last person I want to bring in on a visit is going to be Eric Vincent. We're going to try to bring him in for that same game because complimentary visit with Mike Cook, that would be extremely nice. And because we already know all of his motivations as well, we got to go with the A, and that's going to be proximity to home, and that ain't changing. And just to free up 10 hours as well, let's start hard selling him as well, because we already know, again, what his motivation is, and it's game time. And with the extra 10 hours, I think we're actually going to put him on Cook. He's got 3 other scholarships and some teams that are actually kind of bumping up there. With Vincent, he has San Jose State, but I feel like we can take a big lead over them, especially since we've already scheduled that visit. So let's end up doing that, and let's add the DM just so we can get some extra hours. Actually, I changed my mind. What we're going to do, we're going to take off the DM the player. We're going to end up doing search social media just so I can have 5 extra hours just because I like Hunter Batty's name. So why not offer him a scholarship? I know he's a bust, but screw it. He's an accurate kicker, and again, he's got a great last name. And that's why I will probably never ever be a head coach on any college or pro team. That and plenty of other reasons too. But either way, we get into this game against Oregon State. We do have that 3-star gem halfback that's going to be visiting this week. So we need to pick up a victory, especially since we are at home. We need to show them that it is actually a really great campus, and we have a really great team with a really great culture. So let's go out there, and let's try to take down Oregon State. And it looks like things are going pretty well right now. I mean, we're currently up by 2 possessions, down in the red zone, threatening to score again. So let's get that score right here. Can we scramble out? How about we hit our tight end, Tanner, who ends up going down. Now, the good thing is we do have a couple extra downs to be able to get in the end zone, and I think we might do it on this one. If Brown's got enough speed, we'll get him on that jet touch pass. And let's get in the end zone, get a block. There we go. He's got way too much speed, and we go up by 3 possessions. Thankfully, our defense is still doing their job, but here we go. 4th and 1, we got to get through. Someone get him. There we go. We end up getting him down, and we get the ball right back. And it looks like not soon after, we're in a similar predicament. 4th and 8. Come on, let's get in there, and let's get a big stop. Ooh, that's tough with that zone right there, and unfortunately, they do pick that one up past midfield. And is this all the game's going to let me do? 4th and 7, let's get in there, let's pick up the stop, and that is not going to happen. Nice hit, but if only that would have happened like a half a second sooner. And I haven't really even gotten a chance to play some offense. We're only up by 8 points right now, and they're threatening to score. We can't allow them to get anything, and we can't even tackle them. They end up getting a first on that one. But come on, we played way too well to be able to not win this game, especially here at home. Come on. Oh my gosh. They actually went for the run on first. I mean, I guess that is to be expected, but still. Either way, though, 2nd and inches, we just got to keep them out of the end zone. Oh, as they do go with the jet touch pass, and we end up tackling him before he gets to the first down marker. And now question is, can we do that one more time? Let's go. Let's get them to 4th and inches. Let's get him off the field. Get him over there. Damn, he actually came back and got that one. That is so rough. And unfortunately, they were able to get the 2-point conversion. So we just need to get a field goal. We got plenty of time. We got 3 timeouts. Feel pretty good about this as we end up getting it out on a screen. But no, unfortunately, only 2 yards on that one. But feel like we actually have a good shot right here. Let's go. Let's see if we can get him out here. We're not going to be able to hit him on the streak, unfortunately. Get out. Yeah, come on, Duffy. There we go. Gets it back. How did he complete that one? Holy shit. Is an absolute magician. Maybe we aren't going to replace him. Holy cow. Really great play by him right there. But let's go. Maybe not on that one, though. Come on, our line can play much better than that. I know that. I've seen it before. That's going to be picked. And I think we're not going to get that guy to come to our school now. And now it's time to play a little bit of hero ball. How many times have I said that before? Either way, that's fine. Let's get Shaw on... Oh, no. No. Yeah, that's rough. He didn't have the speed there. Makes me wish some of these guys were a little bit faster. Oh, but we may have gotten him down the field. Let's go. Great play by Poke. Get to the end zone. And we're going to have ourselves a tie game. Let's go. I can't believe they allowed us to do that one. And now they're going to pump with 6 seconds left. Maybe we can get one more play in. Can we get the fair catch? No, we can't, but maybe we can actually get it on a return. That was a bad spin move. And despite the fact that we kind of blew the game there, we still came back. So hopefully we can actually prevail here in overtime. But we are going to be starting on offense, so let's do something that I haven't done yet while we played offense, and that's run the ball. Let's see how our line can do here. Oh, that was not good, and we get taken down for a loss. It's funny, our halfback is extremely fast, but apparently... Oh, come on, that was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. Don't get picked. Thank you very much. 3rd and 12. Come on, we just got to get close to the first down marker. We just can't allow them. And unfortunately, now we need our defense to really hold as long as we can actually hit this kick, which thankfully we do. Let's go. We got the 3-point lead, but now our defense has to hold. And unfortunately, with that loss, we do go to 1-1. And Duffy didn't really have a horrible game. I mean, yeah, he only completed under 60% of his passes, but still 211 with 4 touchdowns and only 1 interception. Not bad. We definitely need to get our rushing attack a little more involved because Kristen, only 9 for 49, average 5.4. We definitely could have got him worked in a little bit more. But Poke, a big touchdown there at the end, but 122. No one else really ended up breaking 20 except for Shaw with that 1 for 55. But we definitely need to get a little better at this. I mean, realistically, on paper, they were better than us. But man, we really could have come away with a victory, especially since we were at home. Dude, we had it. We had a 3-possession lead at one point. We just absolutely blew it. And unfortunately, he does not commit, although we are still number 1 on his board. And that made me so sad that it made me want to schedule a couple extra visits. So why not do that one against Washington State? You got an extra complimentary visit. And if we're going to do anything, again, we're selling that campus lifestyle. You saw how electric it was in that stadium during that game. Of course, they're going to love that. And obviously, it's a beautiful campus as well. But let's go for the hard sell. We know exactly what he wants. I just need to find it. There it is, that hometown hero. And honestly, with those motivations, I think we have a really good shot at landing him. And since we have 55 hours to spend here, We offered him a scholarship. Let's end up sending the house as well. And honestly, I know that we don't necessarily need a free safety, but I actually like this guy's stats. Why not? 88 speed, 90 acceleration as a free safety. Is a zone safety? Why not? Let's offer him a scholarship. We are going to have to find a way to get some more hours, though, because this is not efficient at all. But let's see how we do against California. It's going to be a tough game. They are 2-0 right now. Let's hope that we see a 2-1 for us. And in fact, we actually get a commit. Gerald Kidd ends up coming to our school. Let's go. I thought that we lost him in week 2, but thankfully, he ends up committing. The downside, though, is we see a handful of guys that might want to transfer, so we're going to have to get a little better at a lot of these. And as you see, too, we are 1-2 right now as well. I can't believe we ended up losing that one. Question is, how badly did we end up losing that one? Wow, that is horrible. We lost 37-3? What happened to our offense in this game? Duffy didn't really have many mistakes, only 173. Just didn't have any touchdowns or interceptions. It looks like we barely even had the ball. Christensen ended up averaging 7.8, but only had 6 carries. No one had over 64 yards. Our defense didn't really do much. No TFLs. 4 sacks, though. No interceptions. It just looks like we just let them score. Maybe it was a lot of special teams or something. But thankfully, we do have a bye week, though. We can put Kidd at the bottom of our list, showing that he did verbally commit. And hopefully, it'll end up staying that way. But now, we're going to be able to focus on a handful of other guys, because we do have 105 hours. And looking through our list, I'm actually a little interested in this guy. Looks like he is a run stopper. No one's offered him a scholarship yet. And it's not like he's a bust, so, let's be the only team to do so. And since we're already looking at left ends, let's also scout this guy too. And again, not a gem, but also not a bust. Let's offer him a scholarship. And I think we can only do it for one other guy as well. Question is, do we want a corner? Do we want to look at another quarterback, another halfback? And we just ended up signing one, so maybe not a halfback. But honestly, let's look at the corners. It's always good to bolster that secondary. 91 speed, but he is a bust. But if I'm being completely honest with you, he still looks pretty decent. I mean, that play recognition definitely has to go up, and that man coverage is a little rough. So let's not offer him a scholarship yet. And let's pick one other guy like this right guard, John Garbett. And let's just take an educated guess based on this. I mean, a 77 lead block. That run block power doesn't look like it's going to be extremely high, but that pass block power could potentially be. Strength looks pretty decent, same speed, acceleration. I'm going to take a chance. We'll fully scout him maybe next week, but let's offer him a scholarship and see what happens. I'm just really glad we finally got a commit. That's really awesome. So let's skip to next week since this is a bye week. I think next week we're definitely going to have to schedule some guys on some visits. That way we can end up getting more commits like Mike Cook right here. Didn't even visit and wants to come to our school. Right outside linebacker. That's going to be good. We have one guy on each side of the ball now. Thankfully, we didn't lose this week. Thank you, bye week. Always makes me feel pretty damn good. Now, Pringley still doesn't have any other scholarship offers, and he is in the top 3. So I think we can actually take off the send the house now. We can go for the hard sell on, what would that be, Hometown Hero. And let's also add the DM player and schedule him for a visit, probably against Hawaii, because again, I'm kind of itching to play again because I really want to make up for how horrible that last game was. I mean, since he is in his top 3, I think that we could probably get him to sign after this game. And same thing with Larry Mama. Let's end up bringing him for Hawaii. We get that complimentary visit with Pringley, and maybe we can actually get 2 guys in the same week. And since we know all of his motivations as well, let's end up going for that hard sell, and let's get that campus personality in there. And unfortunately, we ended up getting leapfrogged here for Glenn Iverson. Since he is a 3-star gem and looks like a pretty damn good wide receiver, we definitely want to get him. So let's end up taking off the send the house. Let's end up going for that hard sell on that Hometown Hero. Let's go with the maximum thing that we can actually get. And since we can put 10 more hours on him, let's DM him as well. And thankfully with Galladay here, even though we only know one of his motivations, we can pretty much guess exactly what he wants. So let's go to that hard sell. We see, unfortunately, it's not that one because there was an X with it. It's probably campus personality, but we'll go through and just make sure. And after looking at all of them, it is definitely going to be that campus personality. So let's go with that one, and let's schedule a visit for Hawaii. Why not? And go with that campus lifestyle again. Again, that seems to be a really popular one. Thank you, San Diego. And honestly, we are number 2 on Stick's list, and we can bring him in for a visit, but we really don't know much about him, so let's take that extra 50 and put it in to send the house. But unfortunately, we are going to have to sim through the Central Michigan game. Let's just hope that we don't drop to 1-3 like they did in real life. But look at that. Doug Davis ends up committing. We got ourselves another quarterback. We got Eric Vincent, the left end. And hopefully that's not going to make it so that we don't have to play this week. Now again, thankfully we did get Doug Davis as well as Eric Vincent. But as you can see right there, Iverson ended up committing to a different school. So we're going to have to take him off our list. And it does look like there are going to be 3 other guys that are going to be visiting this week. So let's make sure that we play really well. But first, we're definitely going to have to scout a couple other guys and maybe bring some other guys in on visits because we have 270 hours to spread out now. Now for Stick, UCLA does have a huge lead. I don't think that we're going to end up getting him, especially since he is in the top 3. But maybe, just maybe, if we bring him in week 9 against Washington State, maybe we can end up pulling him away from there. But as much as I'd love to actually hard sell him right now, I don't think that we can necessarily do that because he could be student of the game or he could be campus personality. And if it is campus personality, I definitely want to try to sell him on like the campus lifestyle. So I think we're going to have to wait one more week before we end up hard selling him and scheduling a visit. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have to learn more about the other guys before we end up bringing them in on a visit. So let's scout a couple other guys. Why not? Especially offensive linemen as well. We're going to need them. Like I said, our offensive line is pretty old right now, and they're going to end up graduating soon. So guys like Matthew Vernon are going to be a really good addition to the team. So let's make sure that we end up offering him a scholarship as well. Not just that, but let's also send the house. I think that's going to be good. And the fact that proximity to home is one of his motivations, maybe that's actually going to align with a couple other really good grades too. So I think we only have enough time to scout one more guy. So let's have it be a defensive player right here. And unfortunately, we get a bust. He is a 91 speed, but that man coverage, the play recognition, and all that definitely needs to improve. So I think we're going to leave him down here for now. Now, a right end, on the other hand, as a run stopper, could be pretty damn good. Doesn't look like he is a gem or a bust, but again, some of those stats, despite the fact it is only a 61 speed, he could be pretty good, especially as a run stopper. Now, I'll be honest, I completely forgot that we actually had a 4-star on our board. So I think what we're going to end up doing is taking someone like Ray Maragos. We're going to take away the send the house. We're going to end up doing contact friends and family. And let's actually start to kind of look at the guy a little bit. Now, I want to scout him just to kind of see if he really is 4-star caliber. And it looks like he might be. Not too bad. As a run stopper, 89 speed, 90 acceleration, 84 tackle. We'll definitely take that. With our remaining 5 hours, let's offer him a scholarship. But that brings us to a big game against Hawaii. And as you guys can see right there, we're 2-2. So thankfully, we ended up winning that game. But it looks like this is going to be the first conference matchup. And thankfully, we are taking on Hawaii. Now, they are overperforming their overall, because I think it said that they were 3-1. But looking at the overalls and also how things went in the Road to Glory series, I think we can end up taking them down. Again, we're going to be doing the moments, and hopefully this is going to pan out better than Oregon State. Although maybe I shouldn't have said anything about the Road to Glory series because we're down by a score. But thankfully, we are in the red zone, and we're going to be able to pick one up here on the bubble screen. Poke gets in the end zone, and we got ourselves a score. That was a really quick little drive there. Although chances are there were a handful of plays that Sim ended up taking care of before that. But that's okay though. 3rd and 5, they go for the handoff. No, I was not expecting that at all. But that's okay, because that allows us a chance to maybe get a turnover down here in the red zone. Who knows? As they go for another run, let's stop them. I feel like it's going to be so nice if we get some of those run stoppers because that might be a little bit easier there. We wouldn't have given up that 3rd and 5 on the ground. Oh my goodness, and unfortunately we totally miss him. And they go up by another score. But we can't allow that to deter us, because we can end up picking up a score here ourselves. That would be pretty nice. Nice play there by Brown. Really great route, and he gets free. So only 8 yards away from being able to tie the game up. Let's see if we can get that working. Oh my gosh, they just knocked the interception out of their own hands. Boy, did we get lucky on that one. And when in doubt, go to your speedy halfback. Let's see if we can actually get a screen here as they get into the backfield really quickly. That just means we have one more play to get into the end zone. It's not looking really good for us. Thankfully, we can scramble out, get up there. Oh, I think we got a lane. Go! Ends up getting up to the 1 yard line, and honestly, I'm going for it. And it might be really dumb to just run right up the middle with so many guys, but I have faith, especially in our halfback. He gets in. Thankfully, we tie it up. Good thing that scramble ended up getting us down to the 1. Otherwise, I think we were just kicking 3. But they responded, unfortunately, and we're going to have to find a way to get back in the end zone. 3rd and 6. We just need a first down, and let's go. I think we got more than that. We got Shaw free, and we got ourselves a touchdown to tie game again. And thankfully, they don't respond this time, and we got a chance to go up here. All we need to do is get into field goal range. That's all realistically we need to do. So let's be slow and methodical about this as Brown gets up to about midfield. And hey, we have 3 timeouts. We don't need to rush here. Realistically, as much as I would love to score a couple more touchdowns in the last minute, I know that sounds ridiculous. We don't need that. We don't need that. No, thankfully we get that one out. If that would have been intercepted, I would have flipped. But thankfully he didn't, and we got a chance to continue going here as we take our under route. Poke gets up there, and we got ourselves a 3rd and 2 at the 43. So let's go 3rd and 2. Let's get it up to him, and that gets batted away. That was stupid. So on 4th and 2, I'm going to be stupid. They're pressing our outside receivers. Shaw can get free again. I want to know where that safety goes. Oh, that's going to be batted down, and unfortunately we turn it over. And fortunately they don't respond, but unfortunately that does bring us to overtime. Again. Let's see if this can be a little bit better than the last time. As we get him out there on the drag, let's go. Poke, gets up, breaks off a guy, and he gets 8 yards. I feel like we need to start going with a few more runs here. Downside is, I don't know how I feel about that jet sweep going out there, but we'll find out in just a moment. Let's get him. Nice, just turn up field. Let's get our yards. Way to go. Poke up to the 10. So 1st and goal. Let's send him in motion here. Maybe we can actually hit him in the flat. We're definitely going to. Oh, come on, Kristen. He can't quite get in there, but we have 2 receivers on the left side. One of them is bound to get free. As we scramble out to that side, can we actually pick this up with our feet? Let's go. We get down to the 3-yard line again. Why risk an interception there, right? So let's go. Let's find a way to get into the end zone. Let's go on the out. What a catch by Brown, and we got ourselves a touchdown on the first drive of overtime. Thankfully, we have a chance to put him away right here on 3rd and 10. We need to get into the backfield. Oh my gosh, and he is just wide open. So if anyone has any pointers on how to play defense better, you guys let me know down in the comments. That would make me feel a lot better. And also give us more victories, especially as we get into overtime. Get up there! Come on, you gotta catch that, buddy. We had a shot to be able to pick that and end the game right there, but instead, 2nd and goal on the 8. Let's get in there. Come on. There's 4 guys over there, and no one is seeing that guy. Now we have to go into double overtime. And unfortunately, they did score in overtime, but they did not get the 2-point conversion. So let's go. Let's find a way to end up picking up some yards here. And actually, we're going to do that on our feet with Duffy. Let's go, buddy. So like I said before, we do need to rely on our best players, and that's going to be Kristen. So let's send him out there on a halfback swing. Let's get it out to him. He's going to be wide open if we would have gotten that block. Instead, we're sitting at a 2nd and 14. Come on now. Oh, there we go. Can we get it out to him? Nope, that gets swatted down. So come on, 2 more chances to get in the end zone. I think we can do this right here. Let's go. Hold on. Yes, I know that's an interception, but there is a flag. Please tell me that saves us. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't jump into any more games, huh? Oh, and that's the problem right there. Duffy, 3 interceptions. Don't get me wrong, I threw one of those, but man, on 43 attempts, only 3 touchdowns and 2 48s. Rushing, again, we didn't get anything started. Kristen ended up getting in for the touchdown, but only averaged 1.9. That is not great. Shaw did have 108 in the touchdown, a couple other touchdowns too, but just not a great day overall. TFLs, we did end up having 5 along with 1 sack and an interception, but again, not enough to be able to pick up the victory. And unfortunately, that is going to be another overtime loss, as well as another game where we end up losing when we have recruits visiting. So let's advance the week. Let's kind of shake that one off. Let's see if anyone still wants to commit, despite the fact that we just lost. And thankfully, Bringley, I'm glad we ended up putting more hours on him. He ends up committing. Same with Larry Mama. I think we're getting a good amount of players here. That makes me pretty happy. So let me go to recruiting here. Let's put them down at the bottom of the list just because that just means that we're not going to have to really do much with them anymore. It's nice to see we have 6 commits. Stick did end up committing to UCLA, but that allows us to free up 275 hours. Let's find some more guys, and let's see if we can put some more hours on them too. Now, I am going to finish scouting Garbutt. Why not? I just want to see if we made a good decision. He's not a bust, so we'll take it. Now, since we had the hours, Maragos is going to get the send the house because, and I actually think he could be pretty good. He's not a bust or anything, and a pretty good run stopper. We could definitely use those. Now, I don't know if you guys ended up watching North Carolina rebuild with only 5 stars, but Ibrahim was a big tight end, and looks like his brother Alfonso is a left end, so let's see, maybe he's going to be a gem. He's not, but honestly, because of the last name, it's all from that scholarship. And we have 35 more hours, so let's scout Lolito here. Another wide receiver. We need a lot of them, so it'd be really nice if he was a gem, and thankfully he is. So I feel really confident about the recruiting right now. We've gotten a lot of guys to sign already, and that's great. So let's advance past Wyoming. Let's hope we take this win like they did. Again, in real life, we can only hope for the best, but the way we've been playing, I don't know if that's going to be possible. And unfortunately, as you see by that championship contender going down, we are 2-4. Again, a lot of that is because of me, but hey, you know what? 4 other games were simmed. And since we are halfway through the season, just want to see how everyone's doing. Duffy, 12 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He only had the 3 interception game. Otherwise, he's been doing pretty damn well. Can't really complain about that. Kristen really needs to get worked in a little bit more. He's got 6 touchdowns, which is great, but 374 ain't great. We need to really up that. Defense looks pretty decent. Alalu has 4 TFLs. White's got 3, along with 6 sacks. Chambliss has 4 sacks as well. So, again, we're getting in the backfield pretty decently when I'm not playing. Phillips has 2 interceptions. Staley and Walker each have 1. So, I feel like our defense is actually doing pretty well. We've just had a couple games where things just didn't necessarily go our way. I totally forgot. We can actually bring a handful of these guys in on a visit. We are going to have to be a little more conscious of, the other hours that we're going to have to place on Lolito and Ibrahim, but still, I really want to get a couple of these guys in on visits. And I think Vernon, since he is the gem, needs to come on a visit much sooner. So let's do it here. We've got the complimentary visit, and if we end up winning, dude, that's a +3. We take that all day. And again, as always, campus lifestyle is what we're going to sell them on. Now, we are going to take away the send the house, just so we can end up going for the hard sell here. Pretty much know what he wants here. It looks like campus personality is probably going to be the one. I'm going to double check just to make sure that there isn't another one that really fulfills those 2, and it does not look like it. So let's sell him on that. And I think we can actually bring Garbett in as well. Thankfully, he can't come for the Washington State game. That's actually good for us. So I think we're going to bring him against New Mexico. I think that could be a really great game. The downside is, again, we don't necessarily know everything that he wants. It does look like all of the A's are not motivators for him, so I don't think we're going to get much better than like a yellow like that. So I think we're going to have to just go for the program tradition. Now with the remaining hours, I think we need to put 25 on the Lido. I mean, currently we are number 2. We just jumped up because, again, we're the second team to actually offer him a scholarship along with UNLV. It'd be really nice to kind of steal him from them. Now we have a lot more competition here with Ibrahim, but honestly, I think Lolito might be a little easier to actually come to the school, and might be a little more beneficial too. Now, I could be completely wrong on that, but time will only tell, right? So we get rid of all our hours, and let's sim through this bye week. Hopefully we can get a commit screen on one of these, but chances are probably not. And we don't, but we are definitely getting really close with both Galladay and actually pretty close with Vernon. No one's offered him a scholarship either. And now that we're actually in week 9, we're going to have to be really conscious of being able to win this game against Washington State, who is 4-3. But again, let's just distribute these 80 hours. Let's see if we can bring someone else in on a visit, or at least try to steal someone else away. And for Naylor, even though we don't know all 3 of his motivators, we do have a lot of X's there. Now, the downside to that is coach's favorites, as well as student of the game. Both share coach prestige and proximity to home, but the other 2 are still question marks as well. However, that just means we're not going to hard sell. We're going to send the house still, but we can actually schedule that visit and go for the proximity to home because we know it's one of these 2, and both of them have proximity to home. And if that's a green, we definitely want to make sure that we sell them on that. Now, we did have a handful of guys visiting this week, but thankfully 3 of them already committed. But we still have to worry about Vernon coming this week. Again, we are the only team to offer him a scholarship, but we want to make sure that he signs with us. A 3-star gem at right guard. I think he could be really good for us. If that's the case, we definitely need to pick up a win here. We haven't in the first 2 games, and honestly, that's got to be boring as hell for you guys, right? So let's go out there against Washington State, and let's even pick up a victory. They're an 81 overall, and I think that was the same as Oregon State. And we remained pretty competitive in that one. So let's make sure that we take the victory in this one. And let's give the home crowd something to actually cheer about. That is going to require us to be a little mistake-free, though. So let's see if we can actually do that. There we go. Actually, good pass. He threw it like 2 seconds later than I wanted him to. But it still ended up picking up 7 yards, and we got a 2nd and 3. Now, I don't think we're going to be able to get the same thing here because it looks like they're guarding Napier. But you never... Oh, we actually could have hit him there. But still, We get it out to Tanner. So 3rd and 1 now. Again, we just need a first down right here, and I think we can end up getting that. Let's get it out to our halfback, who has just a ton of room, and he's 98 speed. No one's catching him. No one's catching him. No one's catching him at all. Let's celebrate a little bit and get in the fucking end zone, baby. Good score to start. And if we can maintain a 2 or 3 possession lead before halftime, that'd be great. Our defense is playing extremely well, apparently. I can appreciate that as we end up hitting Brown for a big gain all the way down to the 21. So we got an RPO going right here, but I think we're just going to run up the middle because we got a nice little hole there, and Kristen gets all the way up to the 3. So we got 5 wide. Let's see if we can get in the end zone. We're going to scramble out to the right a little bit. Can anyone get free? No, they can't. That was a stupid play. We should have thrown it away. That's all right. That gives us just a little extra room here to be able to get the end zone. No, we do not. That is going to be a 4th and goal, and we're just going to have to kick the 3. That was stupid on my part. We had a touchdown there, and I just tried to get a little too fancy, and instead we are up by 3 possessions, but only by 17. 3rd and 10, we should just be running it to try to run out the clock, but no way, not me, never. As we get him down the sideline, let's go, Poke! Again, let's go! And he gets in the end zone with 47 seconds left, and we got a huge lead now. And bro, our defense is doing so well that they haven't even given me a shot to go out there with them. It's all been offense today as we pick up another first down here. Poke gets out. He releases. Is he going to be able to get in the end zone? He is. His 2nd touchdown in a row. And we have a commanding lead. If we don't get any commits after this one, I'm calling bullshit. And finally, we got a shot to come in, and it's only on a field goal attempt. I don't know why they're making us do that, although maybe I should hang back just in case they go for a fake. They don't, and they end up getting their first points of the day. But not going to lie, a little upset that they ended up scoring. So let's see if we can answer back with one of our own. And unfortunately, we aren't able to get that one. What? We aren't able to get that one away. That one just kind of bounced up there, and they get the interception? Bro, this game sometimes, you know what I mean? Well, let's go. 3 minutes left. They're going for the onside. Just get it. Go down. Go down. Thank you very much. And despite the fact that they ended up getting a couple scores near the end of the game, still ended up winning this one handily by 2 scores. And Duffy ends up getting player of the game, which is great. And it makes sense with 303 yards with 4 touchdowns. 1 interception isn't great, but that was kind of a BS one. You know what I mean? Either way, our ground game actually got a little more work in. Kristen 15 for 66, but man, we need to really kind of rely on him a little bit more. But Poke, 2 big touchdowns, 122 yards on that. And then touchdowns to Kristen and Napier as well. And defensively, not as dominating as I would have expected, but hell, man, they kept them in check for most of the game. 2 TFLs, 3 sacks, 1 interception. Not bad, but man, they put up some better stats in other games, but we'll take the victory. And thankfully, that win was enough to be able to get Galladay to want to come to our school, and same with Vernon as well, picking up a couple really good commits. The awesome thing, too, is both of them were gems. I'm really excited to see what type of development they have. And surprisingly enough, we actually take the lead over UNLV for Lolito, which is going to be great for another receiver. Ibrahim, we're definitely going to have a hard time with this, but now that we got 65 hours on him, I think we might be able to move up that list a little bit. Hopefully in the future, we're going to be able to get some coaches that are going to be able to up our recruiting ability and up the hours. But for now, we're just going to have to deal with what we have, and we're going to have to sin through this game against Boise State. Always a scary one. Hopefully we can get our first win in conference. As we end up getting middle linebacker Evan Lehman, 3-star out of Los Angeles. I think that's going to be great. Again, being able to bolster that defense. And look at that. We ended up taking down Boise State. That is a huge victory, but this one against New Mexico is going to be tough. They're 7-2, and hopefully we can go to 5-4. And unfortunately, we do only have one more visit date that we can schedule, and that's going to be Air Force. I wish we could have picked a better game, especially for Cartwright, because he is that 4-star, but at the same time, we'll take what we can get. And at this point, too, I think we can actually go for a hard sell, because we do know kind of what he wants. Might actually be the clutch, which hopefully not, because that playing style is not good for us. And also Grassroots is up there too. I'm kind of hoping it's that one, but not 100% sure. So let's continue to send the house on him. But guys like Lolito, we can take that send the house off. We can end up hard selling him, and we can also schedule him for a visit as well. And even though I know we have limited hours, we're going to do the same with Moragos. Hopefully we can end up bringing him in. Obviously, we're going to bring him in for Air Force. We're going to have to really sell that proximity to home. And hopefully we can actually get him with that hard sell as well, despite the fact that we do have a D- in one of them that he actually really cares about. But let's go for that aspirational goal. So realistically, New Mexico's at 75 overall. They're really overperforming, so hopefully we can go out there and expose them and pick up another victory too. But with 3 minutes left in the second, man, it's been a really low-scoring game here. It's 3-0. We just need to be able to pick up a first down here somehow. I don't know how, but we are. As that one is low. Really bad throw by Duffy. What's going on? Either way, I think that this is in range for a field goal, although I don't know if I can actually hit this. But who knows? Maybe? Do we have the distance? We got ourselves 3 points and we tied the game up. Now we also have a chance to be able to score some points before half and be able to put ourselves up. But the question is, how are we going to do that? I was going to say on the ground, but Duffy gets sacked for a loss of 2. Maybe the stick and knot will do it, though. Who knows? We'll see. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Just burns him off the line. Kristen, let's go. We get in the end zone. My goodness, man. We end up taking the lead on just an absolute broken coverage by them. Kristen, again. This man might not get a lot of carries, but he finds the end zone pretty damn often. So let's go. We're in the third quarter now. We are still up by that touchdown. And let's get the screen. And we got plenty of room. Let's go. Juke. Let's go. Gets it up there. We're down at the 25. And thankfully, that puts us in a really good spot to be able to score here. 2nd and 9. We're going to go for the run to the outside. We just need our run offense to do pretty well. As thankfully, it's all Kristen, man. We are not getting much luck on the line, unfortunately. So thankfully, he's doing it himself. And he's doing a damn good job of it. But let's go. We got him on the out. Poke. Not quite in the end zone, but we got ourselves a first down. And that means that we're just going to be able to pound the ball in right here with Kristen. Get in the end zone, buddy. What a block there. Great lead block, and we got ourselves another touchdown and an even bigger lead. And at this point, we have yet to give up a touchdown. And hopefully our offense can really start to put it away here as we get it out. And that is really, really bad. That was picked. Yikes. And unfortunately, we're only up by 5 now. But as long as we hold on to this ball, we're going to be good as we get to the outside. Spins back in. Kristen gets all the way up for a good gain of 6. So after the 2-minute warning, we got it 2nd and 4. Let's just run for the first down. My dude ends up getting up there, and I think we might have the win now. So let's go 5 wide here. Let's just find a way to pick up a first down as we end up throwing it out of range. Are you kidding me, Duffy? I don't think Duffy's the quarterback in real life, but if he is, man, I'm sorry, bro. I don't mean to be ridiculing you. But thankfully, we can put it away right here. 3rd and 10, 25 seconds left. We just need to keep them out of the end zone. A field goal isn't going to do anything for them. So let's go. Get in there. Big sack, baby. We get through. And thankfully, they don't have a way to stop the clock. 17 seconds. 4th and a mile. Let's get in there. Let's pick up the stop. Great bull rush. No way you're actually going to catch this. Let's go. We knock it out. Holy shit, I thought he had that. And thankfully, we come out with a victory in that one. That one was ugly as hell. Our defense, I guess, played the best there. Thankfully, they knocked it out at the end. But, man, a 17-12 victory isn't going to impress anyone. And how did Kristen end up getting player of the game with 31 rushing yards on 16 attempts? That's less than a 2 average. I get the touchdowns, but come on. Then again, what were you going to do? Give it to Duffy? 179, a touchdown and interception? Absolutely not. Kristen had the 1 on the ground and also 1 in the air with that 86-yard touchdown. So looking at it, I guess it makes sense that he ended up winning player of the game. I mean, Alalu actually had 3 TFLs and a sack and a half. We had 4 other guys with the TFL too, and Moretti had the other half sack along with Alalu. So really great play there. 2 interceptions, so thankfully our defense came to play, unlike our offense, and hopefully that'll be enough to be able to get some guys to commit. And thankfully, John Garbett ends up committing the right guard along with John Naylor, right end. Both the guys that ended up visiting ended up committing. I love to see that. And with all these signings so far, we are ranked number 18 for top classes and the best in the Mountain West Conference. But we still need to pick up some more recruits, and that means that Ibrahim is definitely going to be coming on a visit against Air Force. And I guess we're going to end up selling the proximity to home. That playing style might change up a little bit, so let's make sure we go with something that we know is going to stay where it's at. And once we sign a few more guys and free up some more hours, we're going to be able to pursue some of these other guys as well and make our class even better. But for now, we're going to be simming through UNLV, which sucks because that's actually going to be a really good game. We are pretty evenly matched, but hopefully we'll come out on top and we'll be bowl eligible as well. And thankfully, as you see right there, we are now 6-4, which means we beat UNLV, which means we are definitely going to a bowl game this season. And if we win out and something happens with Fresno State and San Jose State, there's a big logjam with 2 losses right now. So maybe we can find a way to sneak in, but I think it's going to be difficult. And even though I'd like to scout some more guys right now, I feel like it's really important to try to land these guys because, again, this guy whose name I am not going to be able to pronounce, I think he needs some more hours here, and I think that means we're going to take off the social media and the DM and just end up sending the house on him. At this point, too, with Ibrahim, I think we can take off send the house and also just go for the hard sell on it, too, because we know exactly what his motivations are. And I think that we can actually fulfill them pretty well. We still can't keep 65 hours on him, so let's end up contacting family and friends as well. Not really going to care about the kicker that much because, again, he is a bust, but it'd be nice to actually have one in the back pocket. So Maragos, what we're going to do too is we're going to end up contacting his family and friends. Hopefully that'll be enough to be able to convince him a little bit more. And again, even though I'd love to bring some of these guys in on a visit, I don't think that's going to be possible because we only have one more game and that's going to be Air Force. It doesn't look like any of these guys are ready for a visit. But let's see if we can take down Utah State here, go to 7-4 and stay with only 2 losses in conference. As Maragos ends up committing, that's really great to see. We get our left end, and we are going to bolster our defensive line. As you see, we are 7-4, and we end up picking up that victory. Now, we are going to have 3 visits this week. That's going to be Cartwright, Lolito, and Ibrahim. And honestly, all 3 of these are extremely important, especially Cartwright, because he is a 4-star, and UCLA is definitely creeping up on us. So that means that Cartwright, who only has 50 hours on him right now, is actually going to get the DM as well as the social media search. I'd love to hard sell him, to be honest with you, but that playing style is a D+. I don't want him to actually focus on that. And again, unfortunately, we can't schedule any more visits for the year, so this next one is going to be our last game that we play. But again, we got this big game against Air Force. Again, they are not highly rated. They are not doing well this season, but we've fallen into some traps before, so let's make sure that we go out there, win this game, and finish off our list and be able to get those 3 players that are going to be visiting. Thankfully, it seems like we're not having a tough time right now. We're going to go with the jet touch pass, 3rd and goal. Let's get in the end zone. Oh, come on. We didn't have the speed. 4th and goal now. But it looks like our defense is handling business. Our offense, on the other hand, is not doing much. We're almost at the end of the first half. 3rd and 4. We need to pick up this first down. Let's get it out to him. Let's go. Great catch by Brooks. I was hoping we could actually get outside and cut up, but no such luck. But they're leaving it up to us to be able to pick up all these 3rd downs, and I think we can do that. Let's get it out to him. There we go, Tanner. Great catch. Really good touch by Duffy, and we got ourselves a first down. And not just that, but in a really good position to be able to score, too. So let's get in there. Let's scramble out to the left. And we're going to run this one again. Thank you very much. I was going to say, please don't fumble. But he gets in the end zone. I didn't think that he was going to have the power, but Duffy, way to go, buddy. But it looks like on 4th and 3, they're going for it, and they're unfortunately... Oh, they're not going to pick it up. And unfortunately on defense, we find ourselves only up by 3, and them kind of knocking on the door here. So we need to get in there, and we do end up stopping them in the backfield. The thing is, we need to do that 2 or 3 more times here. I mean, if they get a field goal, that still sucks that they tie it up, but... could be a lot worse. So let's shut them down here on 3rd down. If we can get any kind of turnover, that would be even better. And instead, they end up getting a touchdown. They go up. I did not think that they were going to have the time to be able to score there, but unfortunately, they do. And there we go. Great pass over to Tanner. Again, he has become our safety blanket, and we get down to the 6-yard line. So 1st and goal. Let's pound this in right here. There we go. We'll go for the run up the middle. Cooper gets down to the 1-yard line. And that means we're going to be run to the outside here and being able to kind of pound it in. As we see a major hole, and we get right in, baby, and we get that lead back. But they very quickly get back in the red zone again. And we do still only have that 3-point lead. Keep them out of the end zone right here. We need to, as they go for the play action. There we go. We end up taking them down in the backfield. 2nd and 15. Now, if our pass coverage stays like that, I have really high confidence in this game. I really feel like we can do it. Let's get back there. There we go. They dump it short. 3rd and 13 now. So let's go. I do not mind the little dink and dunk passes. That's fine. But still, being able to get a turnover here would be so much better for us. Wow. Oh, come on. Strip the ball. I don't know if that was a broken play or a designed run, but whatever it was, it resulted in a 4th and 12 where they end up hitting the field goal, and now we got to go down and get a score. The good news about this, though, is the fact that we don't need a touchdown. We just need a field goal. So let's get into field goal range. Oh, man, we had A wide open, but still, we'll take the scramble, and let's slide right here. That keeps the clock rolling, and that gets us almost up to midfield as we're going to go with that halfback swing again. He is wide open. Get out. Get a little bit of room. We got it 2nd and 2. Now we are chewing some clock now because we're getting close to field goal range. And I want to make sure that we can win with at least a field goal here as Cooper gets up and we got ourselves a 1st down. That will bring us down to the 2-minute warning. But come on, we still need to get into field goal range. We're pretty damn close, and I think we're going to get it right here as long as Sutton ends up holding onto the ball. But this isn't good enough. I don't think that we're close enough to field goal range. But now I think that we are. Let's go down and make sure that we end up really kind of milking this clock here, right? Because again, now they're starting to take their timeouts. They know what's happening. At this point, let's either run clock or let's find a way to get into the end zone. I do not want them to get the ball back, though. That is the one downside here as they get into the backfield. So 2nd and 13, let's get them to waste their last timeout. Let's go get to the next level, buddy. Nice work. And Cooper gets up to a 3rd and 3, I believe. Pardon me? Make that a 3rd and 4. So we're actually going to pass the ball here. I know it seems stupid. Maybe we can hit Cooper out in the flat. As we do. Nice little juke up. Gets up to a 4th and inches. Are you kidding me? And just a couple inches stopped us from being able to win this game. That's okay, though. We just need to make sure that we hit this one. We take our 3, and now it's up to our defense to hold them for 20-something seconds. Make that 19 seconds, and they do not have any timeouts, so let's go. We just need to get in there, disrupt this, and make sure they don't get any deep passes. As they're about to, oh my gosh, thankfully he throws it out because we just dove a little early, and he could have picked up a ton on the ground there. It's my bad. I thought we were going to the, what would that be, the left end, right end? But nope, we went to the other guy who was kind of playing spy. Oh, and he ends up throwing that one out too. So 8 seconds left, 3rd and 10. They only really have 2 more shots left, I think. So come on, we need to find a way to get back there. Oh, no. Thank you very much. Again, it locked onto the wrong guy. I was trying to get to a different lineman. And needless to say, that definitely did not happen. So let's do that. Cover 4. In fact, we should probably play prevent, honestly. But that's okay. Let's go back there. Let's make sure that they don't get anything off. As they do. And we... Oh my gosh, they caught that! But thankfully it goes down. And despite the fact that they did end up getting down into field goal range, we take this 1 by 3. That was an ugly fucking game. I'm sorry you guys had to see that, but it still comes out with a victory. So we'll take that. Shaw, 71 yards and a touchdown, player of the game. And if that's the player of the game, I don't think that I want to see the rest of the stats. So let's just skip that. And let's go on to next week as, thankfully, we end the season 8-4. Don't think we're going to make the conference championship, but thankfully, Lolito ends up committing. Same with Ibrahim. Let's go. We got a couple really good commits here. I wonder how Cartwright's doing. We're still at number 1, but we'll see if we end up getting him in the end. And unfortunately, as you see, San Jose State and Fresno State both won out. And that means that they are both in the conference championship game. We got really close, though. And honestly, the way that we started, I'm kind of surprised. But we definitely take that in the end. Now, thankfully, we're still on top of UCLA to be able to land Cartwright. Again, I think he'd be a really great player to have. So hopefully we can continue selling him on all this stuff, and hopefully he'll end up deciding to commit. To be honest with you, I think we're going for the hard sell this time. That playing style ended up going up. Let's do that. For a couple of these guys, I think we need to take off the send the house, and I think we need to start hard selling them. There are a couple that I might end up just skipping out on, and the main reason for that is just because we don't have great grades in some of them. But we can end up hard selling guys like Core, though. It's nice that he actually has some pretty decent grades in a lot of things he's looking for. But let's advance through our bye week. Maybe we can get a couple other guys to commit, but realistically, we're just going to get through all of the conference championships, and hopefully we'll get to see which bowl game we get into. And honestly, the way that our offense really played this season, no. We're getting rid of our offensive coordinator, but since our defensive coordinator is a master motivator, I'm actually thinking about just kind of leaving him there for now, and we'll see what kind of bump that we actually get. Plus, we'll be able to actually hire someone next week, so let's see if we can get a good offensive coordinator that actually fits our scheme, and maybe we can be better next year. As Cartwright ends up committing, let's go! Our only 4-star. And now that we're at the end of the season, Will Howard ends up winning the Heisman, 42 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Not bad at all. And look at that, we're going to be in the famous Idaho Potato Bowl against Marshall. I think that's going to be a really great game. If we can win this one, I think we actually up our prestige a little bit. and hopefully we can get a couple other guys to sign. But let's see what we can do to actually find a great offensive coordinator. But realistically, there wasn't really anyone else that had anything in recruiting, so I actually like Joel Van Dyke. Again, spread offense, maybe we can actually do better next season with that. But one of my favorite times of the season, baby, early National Signing Day. We get a chance to really see some of the development traits on the guys that we ended up signing. So let's actually look at that quickly. As Cartwright is an impact, not great as a 4-star, but still not too bad. A lot of normal impact, normal. We do have a star on Vernon. That's going to be great at right guard. A lot of other impacts. Star in Vincent, which is great. Davis is an impact as well, but again, pretty good scrambler for us. Cook is impact, same with Kidd. And Lehman is unfortunately just normal too. So we didn't really get anyone that's elite. But hey, you never know. Down the line, in different seasons, maybe we will. But just for the fun of it, let's get into this bowl game. We're not going to play a ton of it, but still, I want to see if we can take down Marshall and end up winning our first bowl game. And maybe we should have played more, because we're in the fourth quarter now, and we're down 17-0. Maybe I shouldn't have skipped so many moments here, and we're just going to throw this one out. And I wish I would have looked at the fact that it is 4th and 8. My bad. It's all right, though. Bring him in. Come on, Brooks. You needed to get closer. And I kind of changed my mind. I decided to just kind of sit through it, and maybe we should have hopped in, because 19-0? How did we not score against Marshall? Whatever it was, though, that is a very fitting way to end this season. Not successful at all. I mean, we did go 8-4. That's great. 8-5 if you want to count the bowl game. But realistically, this was not a great season. I kind of expected it, to be completely honest with you, but still, it still hurts to lose a bowl game like that. So at this point, we are just going to sim to the national championship game, and we get to see who ends up winning too. Obviously, it's not us, but hopefully in a couple of years, it will be. And it looks like it's going to be Oregon versus Georgia. Go figure, right? It's actually kind of realistic, and unfortunately, our kicker ended up going to Stanford, but to be honest with you, for academics, may as well. And thankfully, it looks like Van Dyke did end up accepting our offer, and thankfully, we're going to have a different and hopefully better offensive coordinator next season. So let's take a look at all the players that are going to be leaving, and it looks like we have a lot of transfers. Holy cow. I mean, a couple of these guys I actually don't mind leaving, although it'd be nice to actually have some depth. But still, it looks like a couple of guys are going to graduation, but no one in the draft. But let's see what we can do to try to keep some of these guys. Unfortunately, we can't get Johnson. Thankfully, we got Latuli to stay. That's great, a middle linebacker. And let's see if we can get this junior. Thank you. We end up getting the junior strong safety to stay. Hopefully we can get Hunter to stay as well, and we do not. Maybe we should have went after Chambliss, but that's okay. We got a couple of really good guys coming in. Hopefully we can find some more in the transfer portal. Now again, looking at the draft results, we do not see anyone from our school. That's going to hurt us in the pro potential, but hopefully we can get a couple in the next couple seasons. Now it looks like some of these recruits are carrying over into the offseason, which means we're going to have 750 hours to start to put on them. And honestly, that's pretty good, especially since it gets kind of wiped out here. But we need to remember who we are number one on the list for. That way we can really kind of prioritize those guys and also make sure that we get some of the gems as well, like Strickland. So that means we're really going to focus on him. And you better believe we're going to bring him in as soon as possible. And we're going to definitely sell that proximity to home. And despite the fact that we do have a red D- on the athletic facilities, still think that we're going to try to hard sell them on it. Again, we actually had a good amount of hours that we can spend here, and I honestly think that proximity to home is going to be the selling feature for a lot of these guys. But let's go for the hard sell again. Let's make sure that we end up getting the right one, and let's make sure that we get as many hours as possible. It'd be really nice to sign a lot of these guys pretty soon. I think that's going to be somewhat possible, but again, especially with our prestige and everything, I think that's going to be pretty difficult. Now, unfortunately, I clicked a little too quickly on Coates, and I accidentally clicked academic prestige as the activity, and unfortunately, that is not one of his motivations, so I think we're probably going to miss out on him, but just in case, put as many hours as possible. But I am going to look at the transfer portal as well, as we see number 87, Prophet Brown, what a name, from USC. Has us number 2, and you better believe I'm going to throw him on the board. And actually, same with Devon Banks. I know that I haven't filtered yet, but I see that their state is California. But don't worry, we are now fully searched. And honestly, I think we're also going to try to go after this right end as well. I'm from Boise State. And in fact, a lot of these guys that, even if they're not necessarily in need, I do kind of want to throw them on the board. That's because I just want to sign a pretty good class, and we have a lot of needs, and we really want to make sure that we fill them. And as of right now, we are sitting at number 28 for top classes as well. Not too bad considering the fact that we're all 3 stars and a 4-star. Now, when we have more hours next week, we're going to really start scouting these guys, but for now, despite the fact that some of these guys obviously aren't scouted yet, we're going to offer 1 scholarship, and that's going to be to Virgin Morgan. But hopefully we're going to get some really good results here after this first week because we have a handful of guys visiting, and hopefully we can actually sell some of these guys that we've been waiting for all season, just like Lorenzo Core, right tackle, ending up committing. Thankfully, no one else committed elsewhere, but we really need to sign a couple other guys. But realistically, now it's just a waiting game. Again, we have some other guys that are going to be visiting this week, so hopefully, unfortunately, we do not see any commit screens, and we really want to get Strickland too, so it's good that we're still number 1, but we need to really land them. And now that we have some idea of what these guys want, hey, we can start trying to bring them in, and let's sell them on the thing that they really want the most. I mean, some of these guys, we don't know their motivation, so it's not like we can really be like, hey, yeah, that's definitely what we want to focus on. Is Alani Brock, let's go, cornerback. We need one of those. And Sharif Coates, I thought that we were going to get screwed up on him because of the, picking the wrong one, but no, he ends up committing. Earl Strickland commits. Abiamiri ends up committing as well. Dude, so many in that one. A good 4 guys. So we do only have 1 more week left, and that means that we're going to have to take some chances on some of these guys. Now, there are some that we're not going to know. Thankfully for Naa, I think that's how you pronounce it, we already know what he wants. So we can really kind of focus on that. Boardingham, on the other hand, we have no idea. So since we're just going to have to guess because it's the last week, I'm going to go with proximity to home. It's the best one that is actually still available. And with Virgin Morgan, again, we're trying to hard sell, but it's going to be one of these 2. But since, honestly, aspirational is going to be better for us because of the championship contender, we're going to hope it's going to be that. So since we still actually have some hours, I think we're going to find someone else, like this D tackle from California, or, well, originally, I guess, from Wyoming. He is a 2-star, but still, anything to kind of bolster our class. Unfortunately, though, we are scouting pretty much everyone in California, so it's not like we can find anyone else. But at least we still have Ben Florentine, so let's spend the remaining hours that we have, see that he is not a gem or a bust, offer him a scholarship. Let's send the house, baby. I may as well DM him and search his social media while we're at it. Why not? We got the hours. So come on, last week, please tell me that we got a lot of commits right here. Virgin Morgan ends up coming in. Ben Florentine, I told you the 2-star is definitely going to make it. But unfortunately, everyone else went elsewhere. That is rough. And we did end with the 46th best class. And that means that we're going to get a chance to really look at all of the development traits for these guys. And there are a lot of them too. So let's see. Rambo is just normal, unfortunately. Virgin Morgan is an impact. It's not bad being able to bring him in. For the most part, a lot of these guys are just impact. Again, Vincent is going to be a star development, which is really great. Same thing with Vernon. I remember seeing that earlier. That made me really happy. But for the most part, everyone else is just impact normal. So I don't know how great this season's going to be, but hopefully next season we can find some elites. It's actually good to see that Davis comes in at a 70 overall. That's actually really great. Maybe he'll actually be able to work his way up to the starting role because Duffy did not have the greatest season, unfortunately. And it looks like Rainey is a 49 overall halfback. We need to switch him. We're going to put him at fullback. And this is actually really disappointing. Lolito came in at a 59 overall. But if we do put him at tight end, he goes up to a 65. But do we really necessarily need that? Looking at the tight ends, it actually wouldn't be a horrible thing. So let's move him over there, and maybe he could actually get some more work in there too. Now, Arthur Band, for some reason, is a tight end at a 45 overall. But man, you switch him to either fullback, wide receiver, or halfback, he goes up a little bit. But honestly, I feel like we need more help in the secondary, and even though it's only a 56, sure as hell is better than a 45 overall blocking tight end. Now, we did bring a ton of right guards in, but unfortunately, our center, left guard, and left tackle are a little thin. So let's see what we can do to move some of these guys over. Vernon is really great, and he might actually be pretty good as a left guard. So let's put him out there, be able to get a little more depth over there as well. Garbett also is pretty damn good. We can move him to left tackle. Stays at 65, and he can get a little work over there too. Question is, Who can we move to center? Honestly, I think we're going to have to put a Biamiri over there. Honestly, he goes down to his 64, I know, but honestly, that's better than what we have at center right now. So he's going to end up being the starter. Now, unfortunately, we do have a little bit of a hole over there at left outside linebacker, so we're going to have to find someone and be able to put him over there. By the way, Mike Cook comes in at a 70 overall to start, and currently, he is the starter too. Now, looking at our D tackles, our senior is a 74 overall. That's not bad, but you guys remember John Naylor that we just signed? He's a 70 overall, but goes to 74 at a D tackle. I think we could actually use him there. And Sharif Coates, the one guy that we just brought in as well, we're going to switch him over to left outside linebacker because we need a little more depth over there. So now that we get a little more depth at pretty much every position, despite the fact that we do only have 2 free safeties and pretty much 4 strong safeties, I still feel pretty good about this. We're going to leave everyone else where they're at, and let's see how the training results end up going. Again, we do have that master motivator as our defensive coordinator, so I am hoping for some really big jumps here. So moment of truth, let's get into these training results. Do we see anyone who jumps up a lot? And no, not really. Although our overall does jump up to an 82, not a huge boost, but Duffy ends up jumping up to an 81. Sutton's up at an 82, not bad. He's going to be a decent replacement. Thankfully, we have a lot of guys who actually have decent overalls in pretty much every position. Now, our offensive line looks pretty good. Now, 72, 80 for Barron as a sophomore. He's going to be really good staying over there. Obviously, we have a different center who's going to be there as well. Durkinson, unfortunately, only goes up to a 63, and our right tackle goes up to a 68. Thankfully, we have some freshmen to really take those spots. You know what I mean? Our left end, 79, right end, 76, and a 78 for our D tackle. Kind of reminds me a lot of last season, unfortunately, but new. Ends up 71 overall as a freshman redshirt. That is great to see. Our middle linebackers are in the 80s. Right outside, it's going to be okay, though. Our corners are in the 70s, and same with the rest of our secondary, with the exception of Schultz, who goes up to an 81 as a freshman redshirt. And now this is something I really didn't get a chance to do in the North Carolina Dynasty, only because, again, we had a really low roster size because we were only going after 5 stars. But thankfully for us, our roster size is 75. I don't think that we necessarily need to cut anyone. If we wanted to up our overall, maybe. But honestly, realistically, we have 10 more roster spots. May as well keep everyone, just in case. So quickly before we end this, do want to look at the depth chart one more time. We got Duffy, who is going to be the starter again. Unfortunately, we do want to get Davis up there, but looks like it's going to be a little bit of time. And same with Rambo, who actually comes in a little bit better, despite the fact that they are the same overall. And Sutton's going to be our lead back with an 82. Gardnera is going to be our fullback. Again, we got a couple really good wide receivers here as well, especially Cianfrini, which is going to be great. A freshman redshirt, 94 speed. Tanner is still going to be our tight end with a couple other guys holding up the back. Obviously, we have a pretty decent line now. Again, the left side of our line is much better than the right side, but still, not too bad. We're going to have to really bolster the right guard and center in the offseason as well. Maybe we can find a couple of gems, maybe 4 or 5 stars. We'll definitely have to see if we can. Our defense actually looks pretty good as well. Again, they're an 84 overall, which might not necessarily be correct based off of, you can see all the overalls we have here, but you never know. Again, it looks like we're going to be a little more talented than we were last season. Got a couple of really good freshmen coming in. Some pretty decent training results for some of these guys as well. So again, that is going to be our depth chart for next season. We can end up setting up our recruiting board in the next episode. That way we can kind of remember who we're really going after, because I don't want to set up the board right now and then completely forget who the most important players are going to be. But again, pretty successful first season. Ended up 8-5, losing our bowl game, unfortunately. Some pretty rough games in there, don't get me wrong, but I think we're really going to improve this year. We got a couple guys who really upgraded. Duffy's going to be a year better, and hopefully we can find a way to win double-digit games or maybe even take the conference. Again, you guys let me know if you like this format. You guys like the 1 season per episode, or do you like the entire rebuild in one video? So let me know what you guys think, and I think we'll end up doing that going forward for all the rest of the rebuilds. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go down and drop a like. If you're new, subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time in Season 2.